Well, it's time to get back to work. I was really proud of our football team this past Saturday. I thought we came ready to play. We beat what I thought, in my opinion, was a really talented football team, and found a way to just kind of play to the very end and come out on top. So it was a huge win for our program, and yes, we did celebrate after with the opportunity to go play in the ACC championship game, but as of now, that's over with, and it's a one-game season. I think we all know what's coming up. It's a rivalry game against a really good, talented opponent that's well coached. That's won a lot of games against our program the last 4 years. So we've got to get back to work and really understand what this game means. It means a lot to not only our team, but to our fan base, to our program, and we've got to find a way to have a great week of practice and work really hard and try to come out with a win. It's an important game, and we've got to put the work in and understand how difficult it's going to be because this team does have talent. They've played really good schedule. They've got good size and good length and good athletes, and we'll have to play well to win.
I know you've watched Kentucky play this year, but have you watched any of the past games in the series over the last 4 or 5 years? And if so, what do you think led to Kentucky winning as decisively as they did in most of them?
Well, I haven't studied all the past 4 year games, so to speak, but I've watched it from a fan. I think Kentucky's done a really good job building their program. They've been able to recruit good talent. They've been able to coach well. They've always been really solid on defense. Have a great deal of respect of what they've been able to do on defense consistently. This past year, they went back to their old offensive coordinator. He's been able to provide a spark there as well. And I think they're well coached. So I just think that they came ready to play, and they've won these last so many years. And I think for our program, we got to understand this is going to be a very talented football team that knows how to win football games, has competed against really good opponents all year long. They're not going to back down from us one bit. They're going to come in here wanting to win and put it to us, and we're going to have to respond. So I just think that our team needs to understand it's going to take our best performance and a really good week of practice, and we can't think about anything else other than trying to prepare to win this game.
Jeff, kind of take us through your history with this rivalry, man. I know, obviously you didn't get to play them. The rivalry started right after you left, but when you came on with Coach Petrino and being an assistant in the rivalry for a couple of years, what it means to you personally, as you know that kind of helped build this stadium, this game did.
Well, I think rivalries are great to play in. Even back to my high school days, I understand the Trinity St. X rivalry and what that's all about. And not only does it mean a lot to your school, but to the fan base and to the city. And I think when it comes to in-state rivalries in college football and basketball, they're a lot of fun. And it's fun for everybody to be a part of them. Everybody wants to come to the game and watch it and cheer on their team and try to have bragging rights. And that's really one of the reasons you play sports is to provide entertainment, excitement for the fans, and to be able to, at some point, at least for a year, brag on your team and being able to come through in a big rivalry game where fans know each other, players know each other, and there's just a whole lot of similarities within the whole mass of people. So I just think that both programs have had some ups and downs. I think for us, it's about trying to continue to win football games and keep momentum. And we've got a very, very good opponent that we've got to go against. But, I know our fans are going to be ready to go, and they're going to want to win this game. And I think our players need to understand how much our fans want to win this game. And so, we cannot have any letdown whatsoever this week. It has to be full speed ahead and 100% concentration on Kentucky.
Jeff, two questions for me. One, you mentioned just now kind of watching it as a fan. How much of, I guess, a mentality shift is that now to coaching it again? And then second, as part is obviously Ray Davis has been big for them, and you guys have been driven a lot by the run game. So how much will that factor into Saturday?
Well, I think that when you speak about the rivalry, I didn't get to play in it, but got to coach in a little bit, and that's kind of when it started. And even as a fan, the basketball rivalry is fun as well. It's just a really big game that means a lot to this state, and you want to do your part to help your team win and be a part of that. And this is a week across the country where there's a lot of rivalries going on, but this is a really big one, and we're excited to get a chance to play in it. And we have plenty of work to do to get ready for it. I think when it comes to Kentucky and their running game, that's their strength. They have an outstanding running back. They have an experienced quarterback. They have a good play caller who's coached a lot of football, and they want to run the ball, control the clock, play great defense, hit some play action off of it. And if they can get that going, they're going to win the football game. So when you play those type of teams, you got to be prepared for it. You got to try to take away what their strengths are. You got to do some things to make them do things that they're not as comfortable with. It's important always to try to get a lead against teams like that, and that's not always easy to do. So, we've got to figure out a way to start fast, know who their top playmakers are. With that said, they've got good receivers as well. 3 guys that all have about 40 catches, and experienced quarterbacks. So, stopping them, we have to have a good plan, and they're going to be physical, and they're going to want to come at you, and we have to be able to respond and try to take away that to a certain degree.
Jeff, you had a lot of success in rivalry games during your time at Purdue. What do you think was the biggest piece behind your success so far as a head coach in rivalry games?
Well, I can't speak for anyone else, but I know, I take it seriously. Rivalry games mean a whole lot to me. Like I said, I've been a part of it. We're going back all the way to high school days and even in college. And I understand that it's more about our team playing the other team. It's about the entire city, community, and state and fan bases, wanting to, go out there and compete and hope that their team wins. So, this can make a lot of people happy or it can make a lot of people sad. And as a player, you don't want to make your fans sad and make them mad. So we've got to try to give them what they want. And in order to do that, we have to understand first the challenge that's ahead, which is a really good, talented football team. And we have not been able to beat them here in the recent past. And in order to do that, we're going to have to play better and play really good football. And we found a way at Purdue to kind of win the Indiana game, but it was always tight, and it was always going to go into the fourth quarter. You just got to hang in there and try to make less mistakes than the other team, and find ways to create a few more big plays, and hope that you come out on top. But it definitely is a very, very important game that we've got to try to find a way to win.
I wanted to ask you about the kicking situation. Obviously, Brock has been having some issues lately. How much do you work with a kicker when it seems like it becomes mental? And have you made the change to Lopez, or is that still a decision to be made?
Well, Brock has done some really good things this year. He's unfortunately he struggled a little bit the last couple of weeks. I do think that just got to build his confidence back up. He's done some good things in practice. Sometimes you just overthink things, and when it comes down to it, you've got to, just like with a quarterback or any position, kicker or specialist, you've got to prepare and practice and work on the mechanical things that you need to. But at the same time, when it comes to game time, you got to be able to block things out and just cut it loose. And I think right now he's thinking too much, and I think he can get out of it. It's good to have Nick come in and do a good job. He's been kicking really good in practice. That's why it's important to have depth at each position and have competition, which they've had a good competition, just like at the punting position. There was good competition that we've adjusted that slightly. But I think all of those 3 guys will be available and up for this game, and depending on the situation we have and how they practice, will determine at the end of the week.
Jeff, when you got the job here, Mark Stoops was asked a couple times about you, and he said just how much he liked you. What is your relationship with him?
Well, I like Coach Stoops. I think he's a really good football coach. He's a good person. He's been able to build up the Kentucky brand and program. He's a football guy. Comes from a football family, so I have a lot of respect for that. And I think he wants to win. He surrounded himself with some good coaches on his staff. He's been able to recruit good talent, and he's done a good job. So I have a great deal of respect for him, and it's going to take our best effort to win. I think I understand that. I hope our team understands that, and I'm sure they're going to come ready to play. They have a lot to play for in this game as well, and they're going to want to come in and knock us off in our home stadium. And if we're not able to prepare the right way and respond, it will not be a good day for us. So I think we have great respect for their program and their coaches and their players, and just like when you face another really good opponent, you've got to play well to win. And I think we've shown that we have the ability to do that when we can, and we've had the ability to not do good things if we don't play well against whoever we play. So that's why it's important that the preparation is good, but also the focus and execution on game day is even better.
Yeah, the tight ends had their best games of the season against Miami. Was that something you saw you might be able to use before the game or as the game developed? And can you talk a little bit about them individually and how they've improved since you've been here?
Well, that position is important in our offense, and we're continuing to work through that and get guys experience. We just happen to have a lot of guys this year that haven't played that position a whole lot. So it's not, when you come in and play a position, quarterback, offensive center, tight end, those are the hardest to learn right away. I mean, it's just a lot on your plate. There's a lot of things you got to know and understand. Tight end is a tough position. You got to be able to block. You got to be able to know line calls and line movements and who you're going to and the technique you use. You got to be able to get open on routes. You got to understand route adjustments. You got to be physical, but you got to be able to run up the field as well and catch the ball. So I think we've continued to work that position. They've done a really good job working in practice. It's going to be important that we continue to utilize that. When you face Miami, they had good corners. They had good size. They wanted to guard us tight. You got to be able to work the middle of the field. And the more we can work the middle of the field, the more things will open up on the outside. So I think Josh Lifton has done some good things. He understands what we're doing. Nate Kariski, has some potential. He's just young, so he's continuing to develop and had a really good day. Joey Gatewood is athletic. He just hasn't played tight end ever until he got here, but we need to figure out ways to make sure he gets in there and gets the ball and utilize him. But, completing balls inside the hashes to big physical guys is important to us, and we got to make sure that we continue to mold that and use that because it will help us when we're playing really good football teams.
A couple things on Kentucky. First of all, when you're watching the tape, Deion Walker, does he jump off the tape to you? Pretty impressive.
Well, he's basically like having two guys out there. He's that big. He's really big, and he's pretty athletic as well.
Leary, did you ever, in the recruiting process, that as he was transferring, did you all have contact with him?
Well, we look into all options. I know Devin was coming off of, I think, a shoulder surgery or some type of surgery in his pec maybe. But he was talented. He put up some good numbers at NC State, and he played some good football. So we knew when he went there, they were going to have a really good option at that position. And I think anytime you can provide experience at quarterback, it helps your offense. That offense is built around the running game and play action. They need a quarterback who can manage it and make throws when he has to. So I think he's perfect for what they're doing. Their defensive line is big. They have legitimate size. 3 defensive tackles that are 320 plus. They have good size at their position. They've been really strong on defense the last 4 to 6 years. And as they get their offense going, if they can get both going, then they're dangerous. So we've got to, figure out ways to, score enough points and put them behind the 8 ball a little bit to make them throw a little more than they want. But they're a good football team. They're battle tested, and they've played good competition all year long. So, they're not going to be hesitant coming in here trying to beat us.
With Isaac, where he is now, how does that compare to like when he first came in? What your expectations of him were in the running game, the explosiveness now, maybe as opposed to the power earlier? Is he doing pretty much what you expect, or has he just found something different since he's been in your system?
Well, I think Isaac has really done a great job for us. He came in as a transfer. He's got good size. He's got good speed. He's really got good hands. We felt like, adding him to the running back position would help us. Jawar, Maurice are really good players as well. but he gives us something different. He can run downhill. He's got physicality. He's got size, and Jawara is a little different. If you give him space and give him some opening, he can shake and bake you, and he can go the distance. Isaac's going to run downhill hard, lowers pads, and if he does get open space, he can run as well. So he's been very valuable. He's been a great teammate. Probably wasn't getting the ball as much early on as maybe he would like, but he hung in there and practiced and worked hard. We had a couple little injuries here and there, and he's done a really good job. He's been able to stay healthy for the most part, but he's talented, and he's a great addition to that room, and we got to continue to utilize him because against really good defensive fronts and linebackers, to have a physical running back is very important to us. So he'll be a big part of our offense moving forward.
Jeff, kind of sticking with the running game just for Kentucky, Ray Davis, where does he stack up with some of the running backs that you guys have already competed against this year, and what makes him so dangerous?
Well, I thought we faced a good running back this past week, and I know he's a true freshman, but man, he was really good at Miami, and he was talented, and we had a hard time tackling him. So, we're going to have our hands full. This running game is good. They've gone against great defensive fronts already this year in Georgia and Alabama and even other teams, and they're going to try to run the ball right at us. Ran for 340 yards against Florida. I mean, these guys know how to run the ball, utilize their tight ends, utilize their offensive line, and play action off of it. So we got to have a good plan. We've had some good games to this point against some of that, but this will be a talented team at that position. I did not think it was our best game defensively last week by any means. They were able to get some big plays. They were able to run the ball at us. So we're going to have to improve and tweak some things and make some adjustments because we have to be able to contain this running back because he's very talented and very strong.
Jeff, you've been a fan of this program, of this school. Can you appreciate the fact? I mean, you guys are 10-1. You're going to play in the ACC championship game, but there are some fans who, if you don't win this game, they're still not going to be happy.
Well, I understand that, and that's why after we let the last win sink in, we had to explain to our team yesterday in a lot of different ways that needs to be erased, for a full week, and the full focus needs to be on this game because. In my opinion, this is the most important game of the rest of the season. So we can talk about it all we want. This is the most important game, and our guys need to understand that preparing and trying to win this game needs to be the complete focus. And if we want to make our fans happy and give them a good Thanksgiving, we've got to go win the game. So we've got to really crank this thing up this week and understand what we're going against and make sure that come Saturday, we're able to execute at a high level because, this is an important game for everybody who's involved. Our fans will be out here wanting to see us win a football game against, a good SEC opponent, and we're going to have to play well to do it. Thank you.
Silent. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Chris, can you speak to the speed of Isaac Garendo? It seemed like he's caught us a little bit by surprise. We didn't realize he was as fast as he is.
Well, I'm glad he caught you guys by surprise because he definitely didn't catch me by surprise. I mean, what can you say? I mean, he's just a kid that works his tail off every day. Really puts in the work, studies film. He's got a track background. I think I said that last time. He ran a 10.5 as a senior in high school. Played a lot of receiver, mostly receiver, actually all receiver in high school, so his hands are really good. He just put on a few more pounds over the years, but definitely knew that he was capable of running very fast. He's worked on some other elements of his game, being more powerful, more physical through contact, and I really think he's really done a great job in that department. But it always helps when you have an O-line like we have that just paves the way, and I think we've got some backs that if we get some space, we can take it to the house, and he's definitely been a pleasant surprise for us for sure.
So you're a local guy, grew up in Louisville, you know what this rivalry means. Tell us in your words, what does it mean? To be able to coach in this game, what's it mean?
Oh, man, it's an honor. It's an honor. I never had the privilege of playing in the game, but growing up in this city, I was definitely well aware of the magnitude of the game. From having some former teammates that I played with in high school that played here, and some guys that I coach with have coached in the game, and there's no doubt about it. This is a Super Bowl, and I think we're well aware of the ramifications of the game. And I think our kids are chomping at the bit because they understand how important this game is as well. I think when you have a staff of men who've from the city played here, have familiarity, I think that it takes on a little bit more meaning. And I told them, I said, guys, it might be a little different if you guys go to Walmart wearing your stuff and all of a sudden you lose the game. I mean, they might not let you in Walmart around here. They might close it down until you leave. But actually, no, I was just messing with them. But I definitely want them to understand that this game it means everything to these fans, this community.
Yeah, Chris, have any of the players who've been around for a while talked about any frustration in terms of being able to beat Kentucky since 2017?
Yes, I mean, guys like Jaws. I mean, he's never beat Kentucky. I mean, most of the guys I think in this program obviously have never had that honor of beating those guys, and so that's something that we want to make sure we make a priority. And I think that's something that we've really been on the agenda since we got here. We understood the assignment from day one. We've got to go out and execute, and we understand how much this game means to this fan base, to the city, and it has been a while, too long, to be honest with you. And we feel as though we've got a lot of work to do. They've got a good football team. They've had some ups and downs, but they're well coached. I think Mark Stoops is a great job defensively, especially. He's got a defensive mind. I actually played in college with their defensive coordinator. He was my linebacker, Brad White. We played in college together. Very well familiar with him. He's a brilliant mind, understands football, has coached at the professional level as well. So he's certainly going to be a challenge for us. But I like our team, and I like where we are right now. I think the guys are locked in, and they understand what's at stake.
Chris, can you just speak to they've got a pretty good run defense. Can you just speak to their defensive front, what you're seeing from them and that linebacker core?
Well, the front is they're massive. I mean, they've got some size up there. They're disruptive. They like to get and play the game across the line of scrimmage in the backfield. They've got some really big men up there, and they're strong at the point of attack. They do a good job of running some certain line stunts that can possibly free some of the guys up, create some more gaps. I think they do a good job with their hands. They pursue the football. They're well coached. You can tell those things, and so we have a great challenge in front of us to deal with the front. I mean, the linebackers, they make plays. You know, they run well. They've got some size. But I think they really try to win the line of scrimmage. I mean, in the SEC, that's kind of, you know, how you have to make a living is at the line of scrimmage. And they've done a really good job over the years of really beefing up that line. So we're going to have to really do a great job of scheming them up and really trying to get some ways to gain some advantages. But we're looking forward to the challenge. Certainly, they're well coached and assignment sound. Disciplined football team. You know, they're going to make you earn yards. So we're excited about that opportunity, and feel like we've experienced a lot of growth over the season. I think particularly since the NC State game, I think we really were challenged in that game, and I know from a personal standpoint, my unit really, I think, has grown tremendously since that game. We needed that game to stifle us so that we understand how to be more detail oriented, how to attack certain defenses that maybe kind of condense running lanes and want to put a lot of people close to the line of scrimmage. And so we've had to take on a different mentality. We've seen a little bit more of those type of defenses, and I think you've seen some more success as a result. So, you know, we're definitely looking forward to it, but it's going to be a challenge this week.
Chris, ever since Jawar Jordan suffered that hamstring injury, it seems like he hasn't been as consistently explosive, lost maybe a slight step. How limited has Jordan been since he suffered that injury, and how has that impacted what you guys scheme up as an offense?
I mean, I think he's he did. You're right. He did get nicked up a few weeks back, and you know he's been battling through some things. You know, his game is predicated on speed a lot of times, and you know if you got a bad wheel or something's not quite feeling right, I mean, yes, it can have an impact on his game. I think he has been able to give us everything he has for the last couple weeks, and that's what I respect the most about the kid is he hadn't shut it down. He's battling through it, and I think his teammates understand he's battling through it, and they just love the fact that he's out there at war with them. And I know us as a coaching staff, we appreciate everything he's given us, and I think he's getting healthier by the day. I just think that we haven't quite seen him back to full strength yet. You know, I think his whatever he is still effective. But you know, we've been blessed with the emergence of, you know, Isaac Garendo to kind of spell him and give him some, take some off of his plate, if you will. And so I think that as he continues to get healthy, I also have to give a shout out to Maurice Turner. I thought he did a really good job last week as well, and on special teams as well, and he's chomping at the bit to get going. So, you know, I think we've got plenty of pieces back there to get the job done. If a guy's nicked up or maybe not quite 100%, but I feel good about Jawar and where he is and where his availability comes Saturday.
Chris, with this being a holiday week, how do you all handle Thanksgiving? Is it a team Thanksgiving meal? Is it position groups? Do you take them with your family?
It's a little bit of both. We definitely have something for the team, and then excuse me, I know myself, I like to have the guys over to my house, around my family, around my kids, holding my kids, playing with my dog. I've always cherished that and valued that. I think it's about more than football. I think it needs to be about that when you deal with young people. I think you connect with them that way. And also, I want them to see my family. I want them to see structure. I want them to see some things that they may not have seen growing up. Me interact with my wife, my children, maybe some things that they maybe missed coming up. Some of my kids don't have fathers in their lives. Some of my kids maybe don't have moms in their lives. So I want them to see what the dynamic looks like and how it functions. Because, again, I think it's about more than football with those young men, and they know I love them. We say it every day after practice, and I want to make sure that we're putting action behind the words and having them over to the house and inviting them in, and just the one rule I have when they come over is, hey, no football. We don't talk football. We're just gonna leave that in the office. But let's just talk life. You know, let's be people and let's be real. And so I think that it really resonates with them, and it means a lot to me. Yeah. Appreciate you all.
Both of you, obviously, that was a huge accomplishment you guys had down in Miami. But how is it difficult to get that now out of your mindset to focus on such a big game coming up?
Yeah, it was a big accomplishment for us to go down there and make history. That was a big thing for us, accomplishing one of our goals for the season. But I think with this coaching staff, with Coach Brohm, has done a really good job of instilling in us this one game season and just being able to kind of restart our focus. After we get back on campus or after the game is over. So we celebrated and we're really happy about the game, but I think we've already kind of turned the page and really have all our focus on this next game.
Yeah, I agree with Brian. Coach Brian always talk about one game mindset. So just that game was just big, just for the history of Louisville football. But now we got to turn the page and continue to keep building off our wins and get this next one, the biggest one.
Quincy, I keep hearing people talk about how you're a lockdown corner and they never throw your way. But you do lead the team in pass breakups, so they're throwing your way a little bit. Are you just making the most of your opportunities or what?
Yes, I try to make the most of my opportunities with the very few I get. But that just comes with preparation. Coach Ellis just tell me whenever the ball comes your way, you just make a play.
Obviously, Brian, growing up here, I guess where did you kind of stand on the Governor's Cup rivalry? And then Quincy, how much did you kind of learn about it after coming here?
Yeah, growing up here, I'm from Georgetown, which is, maybe 15, 20 minutes away from Lexington, right in the backyard of Kentucky. So grew up going to Kentucky games and things like that. I would say most of my family, friends are Kentucky fans. I wouldn't say that I was either way, growing up, but, both my older sisters, they both came to University of Louisville and were athletes here. And so, I understood this rivalry, and it is very personal to me, just being growing up in the state and being from so close to Lexington. But I wouldn't say growing up I was either way, but I learned pretty quick, especially once my sisters came to University of Louisville, kind of to the degree of what this rivalry means, to the city.
Me personally, I learned very quickly, like being miles away, hours away, like I ain't know nothing about Kentucky and Louisville football. But when I got here, like you could be 9-0 or 1-9, but if you win that game, you did something big. So like they take it real. That's like the championship game to the fans.
I think you were here 2 years ago. The game was pretty ugly. They won, as they have a number of times, pretty decisively. A lot of L's down. At the end of the game, it was mainly Kentucky fans in the stadium. Does that stick with you? Did it motivate you at all, or is that how do you deal with it, or do you just forget about it?
Absolutely. Like you said, they've won the past few games, and credit to them and the job that they've done in this game. But just talking individually, that does stick with me. I do keep that in the back of my mind, and as I think anyone should or could. But and like I said, with me, it's a little bit different than some people on the team. We all understand the rivalry, no matter where you're from, just being a part of this program. But me, just being from the state and just being so close to them, like I said, most of my friends from back home are UK fans, and that kind of thing. But that does stick with us. But we're focused on this game, and whatever happened in previous years doesn't really matter right now. So.
And how much tape have you watched of Kentucky? Have you watched a good amount already?
Yeah, pretty good amount, yeah.
Does Walker kind of jump off the tape, the big guy in the middle of the line?
Oh, definitely, yeah. He's a good, they have a lot of good players on their defense. He's definitely one of them, and he's done a really good job this season. So, for all of us on the offensive line, it's going to be a challenge for us to, put out our best game against them and see what we can do.
Quincy, even though Devin is new to Kentucky, obviously you guys have played him before last year at NC State. I guess, what do you remember about him, and how does that kind of help you guys in this game?
Just remember him last year, like, he's a good quarterback. Like, no matter what team he's going to be on, he made good plays, he made bad plays. Just hitting a new system, so he fairly new to it, but I feel like he's a smart guy. We just gotta adjust to him, and I don't think it's no biggie though. I think we can handle him. Just keep watching our film on him and keep doing what we do it daily in, day out.
A question for both of you guys. Obviously, huge emotionally charged game, and you guys seem to know like the magnitude of it all. How do you go about balancing that with trying to stay emotionally grounded and not let emotions take over during the game, before the game, and all that?
Yeah, it's definitely a balancing act for rivalry games like this, but just put credit back on the coaches and Coach Brohm and this coaching staff. They've done a really good job all season of making sure we're grounded and making sure our priorities are straight going into each game. So, I have no doubts in my mind that they're going to do the same with this game, even though it does mean, a lot more than, some of the other games maybe. But, yeah, I mean, it's just going into the game, we got to focus on us and us, everybody doing our job so we can come out on top.
I agree with what he's saying, but also like Coach English always tells us like play with passion, not with ego. So don't let your ego get too big, where you can penalize the team and cost us the game or something like that. But that just fuels us to just play harder for real, just knowing how big the game is and come out there with a passion to win.
You guys are 10-1 going to the ACC championship game. You'll go to a good bowl game. Very few people in this room or outside your locker room expected that. When did you guys were you guys convinced that this was a team that could do something like this?
Yeah, I really, saw this team. I saw a change in this team not too long after Coach Brohm and his staff got here in the spring. We also have a lot of new guys on this team this year, a lot of transfers, some freshmen too, so that have played a lot. So it did take a little bit of time for us to kind of mesh together, but once we did, we knew it was going to be a special season, and so credit to Coach Brohm, credit to all the players and the whole coaching staff. I think they've done a really good job once again with making sure we all have that bond as a team, as units, on the offense, defense, and specialists, and we just go out every week and play together and play with that passion to win, like Quincy said. So I would say pretty early on we knew that we could be special.
I say I caught a glimpse of it in the spring, like sitting back watching, like didn't know what I wasn't part of the spring, but just sitting back watching the team work and everything. Like it's like sometime in the spring when I seen our offense going against our defense, I'm like, oh, this is different. Like our offense had a lot of stuff to them, and then with our defense, I could say like we got a lot of players on our defense. Like it's really not one just starter. Like when the starter go down, the next person up, there's no drop off. So I knew like, okay, we got to be something special. I never knew we were gonna be 10-1, like, but I knew we was gonna be a real good team.
For both of you, how does your perspective on Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving week change from when you're a kid growing up and maybe you're with family, and then you get here and you don't see your family at all? You have a big game coming up, but is it kind of like a bonding experience too? You maybe go to a coach's house or spend some more time with your teammates.
Yeah, since I've been in college though, I never got to eat Thanksgiving with my family. So like, but as you keep being in college, like being around your teammates, coaches, everything, they make you feel like family away from home. So only thing you missing is just the flavor of the food, I can say. But it's a bonding experience, getting to know different coaches and stuff, just being around them during this time, knowing that you're missing your family. So they try to be real affectionate towards you, so you won't be homesick.
Yeah, just to echo what he said, like he with me is also, growing up and changing into college, I've been, this will be 4 years, going on 5, that I won't be able to see my family on Thanksgiving, which, is tough, but, I think it is a real bonding experience for us as a team. Like he said, we spend every day together, most of every day together, so, we have that, it definitely is a family here on this team, so it does make up for it a little bit, being able to go to coaches' houses and spend the time Thanksgiving with, all the people that we spend every day with anyway. So,
Brian, acting jobs, Brian? You have an
not at the moment. No.
Brian, how would you assess the performance of the offensive line this year and the offense overall?
Yeah, I think
I think we've done a really good job. Talking on the offensive line, we hit at the beginning of the year we had a lot of new guys, so there was a little bit of a transition, acclimation period with some of them, but they came in and we welcomed everybody. We also have a lot of veterans, so that experience I think helped us out a lot early on. But Coach Owens and Coach Fish have done a really good job with us, and just helping us understand what we need to do and how we need to be, how we need to take the field, and just kind of the bond in that room that we have really I think has reflected with our play on the field. And we've also had some younger guys and guys that haven't played as much in previous years step up with some injuries and things like that. So, I'm just really proud of everybody in that room and proud to be a part of it. And as an offense, I think, we have a lot of playmakers, and yeah, we've dealt with some injuries, but just like Quincy said, when somebody goes down, we have a lot of other good players in the room that can step up, and we don't miss a beat. So, that's just a credit to the kind of guys we have on this offense and on this team.
For both of you guys, obviously there's still a lot to play for with the Governor's Cup, the ACC Championship, presumably a New Year's Six Bowl, but with what you have been able to accomplish, have you guys been able to kind of soak that up or really kind of reflect on what you've been able to do this season with in the program's seventh 10-win season and going to ACC Championship for the first time?
Yeah, we soak it up, but we always say it's one game at a time. Like, we accomplished a lot, but we still got more to accomplish for real. So we just take it one game at a time and just say we congratulate ourselves because it's hard to win. So after the win, we see what we messed up on to get back to the next one so we can win again. So I say, yeah, we soaked it up, but then we let it go so we can win the next one.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we've done, and I've seen most of this team do, is just the ability to stay in the moment. And we've had a lot of big wins and a lot of success this year, but like he said, we will celebrate it for a short period of time, and then we turn the page and go right to the next one, because like you said, it's hard to win in college football. So we have to go into the next week and prepare just like it's week one. Like it's that game determines our whole season, which oftentimes it does. So just being able to stay in the moment and give everything you got that week to go out and have your best performance of your career, just like Coach Brohm says.
Thank you guys.